Hello everyone, I am Surrendalot Reviews and I'm back, and I'm ready to look at some more generational Transformers. But before I get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if I can't convince you, perhaps this picture of my cat will convince you. And random fact about my cat society is that you have to get a license to not handle pufferfish. But without further ado, let's get into this. So, the first episode we're gonna look at is Only Human, where the Autobots get turned into humans, and the humans end up using the Autobots' bodies to go commit crimes. But without further ado, let's get into this. So, the episode starts out with these criminal guys going about terrorizing an entire city. But as it turns out, that's just a distraction, so now they can go steal the stuff here. But luckily, the Autobots are here to stop them. And the human crime boss is, kind of a little tired of his deceptive business practices being stopped, so he hires this guy named Snake to basically give him a bit of a one-up on the Autobots. And he ends up tricking the Autobots to come by so he can steal their bodies, and, yeah, the Autobots have been turned into humans and are kinda gonna have to figure out how to maybe get things back to normal and stop Mr. Crime Boss guy. And so, Rodimus decides to take Springer to the bad guy mansion, and, yeah, they are forced to split up or they both get captured, and Rodimus gets injured. But for some reason, the crime boss guy's wife ends up deciding to take care of him. Meanwhile, with Springer, he catches that the Autobots' bodies are now being used to commit some crimes, and RC and Ultra Magnus end up coming across a warehouse that belongs to the crime boss guy, and they get caught after they find out that there's actually a bunch of bombs and weapons and really, really bad stuff that he probably shouldn't be having or selling. But luckily for Ultra Magnus and RC, well, Ultra Magnus has a plan to basically get RC out of there so she can warn the Autobots. And, well, Ultra Magnus gets captured. Rodimus Prime actually gets captured because apparently the crime boss guy's wife was actually, betraying him. And, well, Springer ends up getting shot down after he tries to free Ultra Magnus, and as it turns out, the crime boss guy is going to destroy Autobot City, so the Autobots are gonna basically have to stop them, or at least try to. But luckily for the Autobots at Autobot City, the people controlling Springer end up attacking Autobot City, basically putting them all on alert that, yeah, the Autobots are not in their bodies, and the Autobots end up getting captured, well, the Autobot bodies, I should say, and the Autobots get changed back to what they should be, and that crime boss guy gets arrested, and the episode ends. Okay, I'll be honest, I think this episode really should have been a two-parter. I guess I really like the idea of how, Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe makes an appearance here and how he basically has this advanced technology that could give this crime boss guy a bunch of new technology, like controlling the Autobots. But I feel like the episode kind of goes through this stuff too quickly, and I think it really could have benefited from being a two-parter. You know, have the Autobots take a bit more time to get used to their new bodies, and have a part where, you know, the criminals are gonna have to take a bit of time getting used to the Autobots and how to control them, because it kind of just seems like the episode just needed more time to get everything across. But other than that, I like the concept. I think it would make a pretty interesting video game if I'm being perfectly honest, but other than that, I think the episode's okay. It's not the worst thing, and I at least will probably remember this by the end of the day, which is more than what I can say about Sea Change, so that's a plus. But I think with that, on to the next episode, which is Grimlock's New Brain, where Grimlock becomes a lot smarter and is able to solve a few more problems. But without further ado, let's get into this! So the episode starts out with the Autobots trying to activate this new power thing, which will give them some clean, renewable energy for thousands of years. But unfortunately, they decide to put the least qualified person into activating it in this scene here.
Me Grimlock ready, but forgot which button.
I went through it with him 5 times.
Now Grimlock, remember? Grimlock, put wrong one by mistake. This one maybe? Can't be that one. Must be one of these. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This switch real rad. Gonna pull.
Grimlock, no! It's this one over here.
That Grimlock's next choice.
You know, I gotta wonder, what process did the Autobots decide for who was gonna activate it? Because personally, I would have probably gone with somebody who might be able to follow instructions just a little bit better, and somebody who you're probably going to maybe only have to explain it once, maybe twice, as to what switch to press, because, yeah, clearly Grimlock may not have been the greatest decision, as much as we all love Grimlock, but hey, what do I know? Anyways, so the Autobots, after activating it, might have a bit more bad news, because these two bounty hunter guys end up putting something into the energy core of Cybertron, which causes the Autobots to act a little weird and not be able to function properly. And so the Autobots are gonna have to go to the core to basically go shut it off. And in the process of Ultra Magnus and Rodimus Prime getting separated from Cup and Grimlock, well, Grimlock finds the controls somehow, and he ends up biting it, and he becomes really, really, really smart. And I'm talking really, really smart. Meanwhile, with the Decepticons, they end up realizing that their plan failed, and they're gonna need to get some more anti-electron. So they basically have to go to Unicron to go mine some more there. And Grimlock has figured out that the Decepticons might actually be going there to, you know, mine some anti-electron. And so he builds a spaceship to get the Autobots there. And the Autobots get shot out of the sky, and Grimlock decides to go off somewhere while the Autobots are currently getting murdered by the Decepticons and the new Terracons, which I forgot to mention exist. Okay, so this is one complaint that I do have with Season 3, and I did go over this in Season 1, but I feel like this is especially a bigger problem in Season 3, and especially in Season 4, is about how some characters are just introduced with no rhyme or reason. Like, for example, the Terracons, because they just kind of appear in this episode, and we don't really get time to get to see them or know what their deal is, other than they're just supposed to be terrifying, I guess. And I guess, spoilers, but with the Technobots, it is done so much better there, because at least we can get to see what their deal is, and we also get to see their origin. But I guess something cool for the Terracons would be like, what if they were created by the Quintessons to say, like, spy on the Decepticons or something like that? That could be a pretty cool idea for the Terracons, if I'm being perfectly honest. Anyways, so Grimlock is off building some new robots named the Technobots, which the first one is named Nosecone, and the rest are, well, as this scene here says,
I, Grimlock, shall call you the Technobots. Yahoo! It feels great to be a Technobot! My name's Strafe!
Far out! Fantastic! I'm Afterburner!
together. I'm raring to burn neutrons and see some heavy action.
Mellow out, Afterburner.
Says who?
They call me Lightspeed, faster than a speeding photon.
And you, Scattershot, shall be the leader of the Technobots.
But I thought you were our leader.
No, Scattershot. I won't be of use to you much longer.
No way! You built us! You're a genius, Grimlock! We can't survive without you!
You can, and you will. Go now. The Autobots need your...
Anyways, so the Technobots save the Autobots from the Terracons, and the Terracons form Abominus, which I'm definitely not gonna need to just look up on the wiki on how to spell, and, well, the Technobots need a bit of help, so they have to form Computron, and we actually get this great scene here.
What do we do, Grimlock? The Terracons turned into a giant!
Do not fear, Abominus, for you have the power to become Computron! Merge! I am Computron. My computation capacity is nearly infinite, yet I lack the intelligence to feed my capacity. Kneel, Computron. You will now receive my intelligence, Computron, and I will return to my former state. But Grimlock, superintelligence is the only way you can defeat Abominus's brute force. It's the only way. Me, Grimlock, say you smart now. Me no can help you anymore. Datum received. Conclusion, must destroy Abominus at once.
Anyways, so Computron goes about fighting Abominus, and he does a pretty good job of that. And the Decepticons retreat, and the Autobots are able to get their energy generator back online, and Grimlock is celebrated as a hero, and he just goes about fishing with the Dinobots, and the episode ends. And overall, I will say that this is a really good episode. And aside from my complaints of how the Terracons kind of just appear out of nowhere with no rhyme or reason, and I do think that Computron is kind of a boring character, at least compared to the other Technobots, because Computron kind of just is more of a computer, if I'm being perfectly honest, and I think that's kind of boring compared to how the Technobots kind of seem more like 80s kids, I guess. Well, aside from that, I think that the episode's really good, and I like the concept of how Grimlock becomes really smart all of a sudden through doing something pretty stupid, and I like how Grimlock is also able to create the Technobots and ultimately gives his consciousness to the Technobots, and more specifically Computron, to basically help the Autobots. And overall, I highly recommend this episode, but I think with that, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.